Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome back to the Sunday recap, my weekly vlog where I talk a bit about my last week in games. And as always, we'll start with EVE Online. And while I've played EVE Online every single day, I haven't done that much. I spend a little bit of time exploring here and there. I have started on going to every single celebration for the Amar Empire, so that's pretty easy from my jump clone in Isesama, and I had to go there anyways for the blueprint copy business, which rough times in the BPC market at the moment. Just 2 days ago, 5 of my contracts lapsed, which means that I had to cancel them, didn't get a sale, and I'm still stuck with a blueprint copy. So a couple of you guys actually mentioned that in my video on the BPCs, it's probably going to be time to spend a little bit of ISK and time into improving the blueprints rather than just pumping out more blueprint copies. The situation is quite dire. We're having a lot of trouble getting a lot of sales, but EVE Online did provide us with an enormous amount of entertainment that could also turn out to be an opportunity for the blueprint copies, and that is of course the big turnaround in the war in Nullsec, where the Papi Coalition, I think it is, decided that they were going to no longer go after the extermination of the goons, and that they have started their retreat. And of course the very smug Imperium then decided to announce their great crusade of punishment going against them. I mean, as long as you keep in mind that this is EVE Online and it's all a game, and you keep it within in-game stuff, for me it's been a very entertaining week, just sitting on the sidelines, browsing through the subreddit, looking at some really amazing propaganda, some great memes that came out of all of this situation, and just reading up on everything that's happening there is very cool. Even spotted an Imperium move on all of the isotopes in EVE Talk, and yeah, turns out that they've basically been jacking the prices up in the trade hubs and in the constellation themselves, you could say, just to make it super costly for the enemy to jump out a lot of ships, which takes fuel, which does take isotopes. And yeah, that's the beauty of the sandbox, of course, is that you can go all out military warfare, but there's economic warfare, trade warfare. The conflict just rages on all fronts, and it's absolutely fascinating to witness. And I'm definitely enjoying reading up on all of the steps that are being taken in this war and in the sandbox. The logistics of it are just completely mind-blowing. We're talking tens of thousands to maybe even like 100,000+ people that are basically involved in this conflict and are doing their part. It's just absolutely amazing, and I'm just hoping that everyone is having fun, despite the fact that, you know, there's probably some players that are having a little bit more fun at the moment than others. Let's just remind us that, yeah, this is a game, and try to have fun, roll with the punches, and just do your best to yeah, enjoy all the conflict and all the stories that are coming out of EVE Online at the moment. I know that I absolutely am doing that. We also have the Amar celebrations. Not sure, did I mention that in the first part? Anyways, I'm doing my best to do that every single day. Got a couple of like some free skill points out of that, and I'm reaching the end of training for the medium Vorton Protector specialization. So that means that I'll have to do a little bit of investing into getting the cruiser up and running and testing that one. Could be as soon as next week, perhaps the week after that. I'm not exactly sure. There's still a couple of base skills as well for Vorton and for the cruiser that I need to train, but we're getting very close. And then of course all these little bonuses that CCP gives us for extra skill points just by doing a little bit of traveling, shooting off some fireworks at a Titan and getting those skill points. Well, I'm trying to do that because I do want to test the cruiser after the frigate test, which was already pretty amazing in some of those anomalies. I'm kind of hoping that the cruiser can do some cool stuff as well, but that's for later down the line. For now, just enjoying my time in EVE Online, reading up on everything that's happening, doing a bit of exploration, and probably a little bit of trading as well. I do think that this change in the dynamic in the war could become a trade opportunity, not for the short term, but for the medium term. Covered that in EVE Talk as well. I think some of the Tech 2 ships are starting to look very oversold. Just give it a little bit more time, a couple more buy orders to chew through, and then we are talking rock bottom surprises and great investment opportunities in game, of course, in EVE Online. So overall, yeah, I'm having fun logging in every day, taking a look at what I want to do, and then, you know, making the most out of a little bit of time and energy that I have spending for EVE Online at the moment. And this brings me to the second game that I've been playing, a little bit more mindless, you could say, some Path of Exile. I have been enjoying this league, going back to another minion character. You know, I don't feel like trying something new that hardcore or anything like that. So I have this Totem Slam character, just having a hard time gearing him, getting the damage output, and so I fell back to something that I'm more comfortable with, something that I know pretty much by heart, and that's also pretty easy to play, which is minion instability. And instead of going for the little skulls, I'm now doing the skeletons. So I just basically need 2 costs, get 8 skeletons on the field. A couple seconds later they explode, doing massive damage while being behind a wall of minions myself. Got some specters, 2 golems that buff me, that give me nice defensive buffs, and then also have 8 zombies that are basically a wall of flesh that are there to protect me. Very easy playstyle, very fun. I think I'm 85 at this point on the character. Definitely into maps, starting to probably get close to being able to do the yellow maps, although I still need my final ascension. I just need one more trial though, so we're getting very close. I'm actually hoarding all of the items as well, because I want to try to see if I can get some good enchants on some of the gear that I have. And overall, yeah, just a lot of fun for me. I like the mechanic, although placing the explosives is like a little bit of time consuming, but you know, you can decide, you really decide on how difficult you want to make the encounter. I generally go with really easy stuff, avoid anything that buffs those the mobs that you spawn, and it's still pretty rewarding. I've been hoarding everything, so now that I'm 85, I think I can get the best possible rewards for the league mechanic as well. Just need to find those level 83, I believe it is, items, and then like roll on them. Not exactly sure how all of that works, but basically we got a nice stockpile of stuff to do that if we want to. Then yeah, not planning to really push too hard or anything like that, but just spending a little bit of time in Path of Exile every single day, making a bit of progress, and then exploring what more I can do with this character. I'm definitely starting to be in the turnaround phase there as well, where it feels very a little bit more grindy, maybe even very grindy if I go for like another week or so. And so I'm actually starting to look at getting items for potentially other characters that I want to play. So that's really something that I have with Path of Exile. I can't really push for that very late end game. I feel like it's that final push into red maps and things like that. It's just very grindy and very repetitive. Then I prefer to just switch to another character, and I know that kind of want to do a little bit more with my Slam Totem character. He is kind of interesting, although not very strong, but I saw that there's another Totem build with one of the new abilities, like a Shadow damage build or Chaos damage build, that's very powerful as well. I love Totem playstyle, so that's something that I'm looking into, and then maybe we can get some uniques or something like that that can provide us with some interesting opportunities or builds that we can try. And yeah, that's been the next game, the second game that I played last week, next to a little bit of EVE Online. It is a decent amount of Path of Exile, but you know, kind of mindless fun. Turn the brain off, do a couple of maps, and just see if there's anything good in the loot. Honestly, not that great so far, but I managed to get the resistances and everything sorted out. So we are we're feeling pretty good about the character, and definitely having fun in Path of Exile in actually a pretty relaxing way so far. So yeah, that was my last week in games, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.